perform certain reasoning. So this screenshot was taken a couple of days back, and I saw earlier this morning that Copilot interface is changed. So one thing what we all are seeing in Microsoft that quite a bit of the interfaces are getting new language models are getting attached, new features and functions that keep continuously getting integrated as a part of the Copilot. But this is how in a few minutes we'll see the Copilot Studio and how we can build these agents, or how can we leverage a pre-built agent from the agent library which Microsoft has published. So going back quickly, Copilot Studio is nothing but an interface where you could build in a very low code, no code format these agents which will perform certain specific tasks. Copilot Studio is running these the agents on your Microsoft Azure tenancy, which is part of the OpenAI layer from capabilities of Copilot. So the number one generative AI test is where the whole agentic decision-making power begins. So it would be generative AI. And the API which Copilot Studio is called is from OpenAI. Various data connectors sits connected to data services. Copilot Studio, those are part of our platform, and now it is embedded inside the Copilot Studio itself. You could perform certain automation. That is where you will see some of these chatbots or autonomous agents performing in a Copilot Studio shortly. Very user-friendly interface. It is very Microsoft-like or a chat-like interface. So you would see that how this whole ecosystem clicks and ticks together, and solid integration with Dynamics, solid integration with different ERPs. So it's all part of enterprise data integration. You could scale the deployments, meaning you can have various different channels inside Teams or a web-based or custom application where you could deploy these agents. In a nutshell, we are doing these 5 things in this Copilot Studio. We are creating an agent in Copilot Studio. We are defining the intents. Intents could be part of your prompt, or it could be part of your workflow. Building a conversation path. We see the chatbot conversation, and then we move on quickly towards autonomous agents. And you can integrate with your traditional way of doing workflow inside Power Automate, or you can deploy. So essentially, you are performing these 5 tasks. When I say Power Automate, you could actually connect with utilizing Power Automate to your different ERP, SharePoint systems, or connected data services. Customizing workflows, what it does. Creating an intelligent agent workflow with drag and drop, which is with low code, no code kicks in. Then you have some visual designers where you can update the workflow. And the most effective part of this Copilot Studio is that you really do not have to be a C# programmer or a C++ programmer to write these agents. You could actually do it with very low code and just by dragging and dropping. The Copilot Studio sits on top of a Power Platform. You have access to all of this, what we have seen in from last few years, and Microsoft continue to build on top of that. All these different applications, platform you can integrate with your Copilot. Business benefits, rapid deployment. As I said, it is no code, no code, where you can build very tailored solutions for yourself, or you can ensure that all the security and guardrails are in place. You could provide some visual representation. You can deploy this as a part of your enterprise environment in Microsoft Teams or in SharePoint, or it can be on your SharePoint intranet. Copilot tuning, this is something which was recently launched actually in Microsoft MS Build. It was mentioned that Copilot tuning, and we will see some of these, how it clicks and takes in an agent environment. But tuning is very important because the agentic development what we're talking about is not very similar to how traditionally applications are being built. In a traditional software development lifecycle environment, you get a business requirement, you build certain user stories, you transform that into code, you deploy it to a certain location, and the business tests it, and this is where the SDLC ends. But in the new agent-driven environment, you get a business requirement. Yes, you could build user stories, you could build the agent, you can deploy the agent, but now agents require continuous monitoring, and there has to have a feedback loop so that model continue to get trained. Because remember, these agents have their own little memory and a brain. So you cannot just have it deployed on production and then hand it over that this is the final build or final app. It requires a nurturing, it requires a fine tuning and continuous performance monitoring. And that is where Copilot tuning kicks in. It's integrated with different applications in Microsoft 365 ecosystem. It is tailored to an AI agent. It is tailored. It can have a multi-agent orchestration as well. What in MS Build, what we saw was there is an agent-to-agent communication now, and you could have this enabled where multiple agents could talk to each other and a RAG environment could be stacked up. And then this becomes even more meaningful now since there is a multi-agent environment. It is getting the performance is getting fine-tuned and it has a feedback loop, less chance of hallucination, less chance of AI leaks. So it gets the agent gets much more stronger. The step to design the AI in the workflow. So how does it work and I try to keep it very simple in terms of a workflow diagram. So you see that, okay, there is an agent which has certain troubleshooting steps and you drag and drop, problem solve. Yes, it ends the agent realm of things ends there. If not, then it prompts the user. There are certain conditions and based on those conditions, you perform an action. The action is the end. If the problem solved, it ends right there. If the problem is not solved, then whatever action it takes, that's where the workflow ends. So it is the very basic design workflow as we go for integrating the data source now. So you could have these different data sources which can connect to agent. We will see in the Copilot environment how you can attach different data sources. Testing and optimization, test creation, how you can test this, and again, optimization, knowledge-based, doing the searches, testing the chat, making sure that the responses which you are receiving is correct. Sometimes you will see there is a wrong response. You might have to fine-tune the model. Sometimes you have to provoke the model that, no, this is not correct, this is correct. So that is something like proactively you need to fine-tune the model. From a deployment perspective, in Copilot, there are some out-of-the-box channels available where you can deploy, which is where you can deploy to Microsoft Teams, SharePoint. You can deploy it as a standalone, as a part of your public-facing website. You could deploy as a part of your custom SaaS app, which you have built. And there would be a need for a feedback loop, as I mentioned, with Copilot tuning now. It's even more important to have this kind of feedback loop. Any questions, anything so far before we get into a little more deeper in the architecture? Sorry, usually these sessions are in person, so it gets easier to get the vibe for the room. So that's why I'm just asking, like, if there is something I could make it better, or any questions so far. All right, so this is more of end-to-end flow for an intelligent agent deployment. So here you start with a query, and everything is. I was in a discussion last night with a few of my friends, and we were talking about these Vibe developers. So this is where you write code with Vibe, meaning it's a query-based. You think about some business problem, you write. There is no really a BA involved, no tester involved, no DevOps involved to deploy. You're just writing the code by yourself and putting based on the prompt and generating these apps. It could be Canvas app, it could be web application in Microsoft Copilot realm of things, or it could be any other Claude or Gemini you could leverage to build these codes. And then you start the conversation and you start putting some more feedback to it. And soon enough, you will see that there is a SQL database getting connected just by the prompt engineering. You are building a Power Automate workflow. You're doing some drag and drops, and you have Azure OpenAI layer connected to it. So let me perhaps go with some demos here. Yeah. So best practices before we start the demo that if build smart, start small. Do not try to capture the bigger problem of the agent. What is autonomous agent going to do? We are not trying to replace any human with an agent. There will always be this human with agent orchestration. So agent will perform certain tasks, hand over to human. Human will take that task and perform further actions to it and give it back to agent. So something of that nature. So I would personally suggest starting it very small. Do not try to capture the entire problem statement. Try to have some meaningful piece get automated first, and then slowly scale that further. At Ignatius, we have built this 5P framework, which is where you could establish the purpose plus. First, once the purpose is defined, then you build the pilot, then you do run a playbook based on the pilot, then you deploy it to production, and then there is a performance piece to it, which is where the fine tuning of Copilot works. So very similar to that, you could start with this in a small fashion and then go from there on. So what next is, so we have this upcoming features coming up in Copilot where you will see agent store very similar to Microsoft App Store or Apple App Store. There would be an agent store where you will see multiple of these agents. Quite a few of these agents are being published by Microsoft. There are a few agents which are custom built, and we are seeing this is going to happen more and more where we start publishing our own agents. Product roadmap is there. I can send the link also. Unified search across different platforms like Slack, Jira, and this is becoming more of a trend now, and including notebooks from Microsoft integrated as a part of the agent. So let's do a quick example here, and let me know if I'm going too fast or if it is, yeah, if you're able to get what these autonomous agents are capable of. So autonomous AI in action, designing agents that can think and do, as I said earlier, that there is an automation, there's a workflow, Power Automate. You write A, B, and C, it will perform those ABC tasks. Then we have these autonomous AI agents, which can think while they do, and they can remember things also. So they have a brain and they have a memory. So this is also getting evolved. So are we talking about a task layer first, perhaps a task layer where there is a certain action needs to be performed? There's a perception layer. There is a sense where what I am supposed to do or what I did for this specific task last time. So I can actually relate. Then there is a reasoning or decision layer using these AI models where I can perform the reasoning that, okay, I am taking so and so steps because of so and so steps I took last time, or due to the instruction provided to me before when decision was built. So I'm taking certain action based on those knowledge which was being embedded into the agent. And then you perform actions. Action layer is still very similar to what a traditional workflow would have, where there is, if you get this, do this. If this, then do this. So this is very similar, but in just the perception layer and reasoning and decision layer is totally different. That's where the agent mind kicks in. Okay. Yeah. So what is an autonomous AI agent? So we talked about perception, we talk about reasoning. Now imagine that there is a chatbot which is very single step-by-step process. So if I ask this question, then answer this question. That is how these chatbots were traditionally. So these were workflow-driven chatbots. Now we're talking about autonomous agents where we can proactively manage workflows. We can make decisions based on the input, based on the action which needs to be taken. It has more of a contextual intelligence. It is more proactive. It can have multi-step reasoning. It can reach out to certain task which was accomplished prior and use that as a point of reference to deliver the next action item. So it's more of, we call it like a context intelligence, which comes in the mix. And these agents are self-aware. These agents are know which environment they are in and what actions needs to be taken up. So the way we could build multi-step reasoning and action, and maybe checking, for example, in this we are talking about a co-pilot agent which can check the availability of the team members where you would like to set up a meeting for. So now you can check the availability, you can create an event calendar and start publishing those. So this is like a very basic a scheduler agent, which does nothing but create these meetings between different team members who could be in different time zones, and this agent could help that. Integrating with Power Platform, Dataverse, and external APIs. This is another very powerful tool with Copilot Studio where you could integrate with the Power Platform. You can talk to this external APIs. It could be Salesforce, it could be Dynamics 365 utilizing connected data services, or it could be Jira or any other third-party tools which can interact with. So far we heard about autonomous agents. We heard about what chatbots could do. We heard about traditional way of building these workflows. Now, maybe let's think beyond what. First and foremost, why chatbots are not enough. Chatbots with AI chat agents also, even if we talk about generative AI, there needs to be a knowledge base behind it. So that's what ChatGPT does, for example, what M365 Copilot does. You ask certain questions and you get some data based on the information being stored over the years or behind that large language model. So it is more of a interactive conversation with the data. All we are doing is that we just talking to data, asking very specific question, getting very specific response back. But now what autonomous AI agents do? They could proactively initiate the action. They can actually perform a task. Chatbots are not performing a task. Chatbots is just providing information. Yes, you can generate the content, you can generate the image, it can create an image for you, but it's still generative. They are not able to book a travel itinerary for you. They won't be able to book a hotel or do a hotel reservation for you. So for that you need a more contextual awareness as well as somebody to perform certain action based on the information provided or a prompt provided by the user. So that's where these autonomous agents kicks in. And these autonomous agents cannot be workflow driven. They cannot just do A, B, or C. If I ask an agent that, okay, reserve me of this flight ticket, the agent has to go and check what are the availabilities, what could be the different itineraries, and then come back with the results. So this require more of contextual awareness than just the step-by-step instruction for workflow. Okay. So a journey from chatbots to autonomous agents, we talked about simple chatbots, where you ask a question, you get an answer. Very limited, workflow driven. Then we have intelligent chatbots, where chat GPTs of the world comes in, where you ask, it has awareness of the context, and it will give you, based on the prompt you're asking, it will respond to you on that. You can get certain tasks done through these intelligent chats, but that all would be in generative form. In autonomous AI agents, it's where we get into more of agent to agent talk. We want to get into some RAG implementation. Here you will talk about having certain meaningful proactive task which an agent is performing. While agent is performing this task, there is a solid guardrail around it, so you know how the information is being shared. Along with that, it has awareness of the environment this agent is in, and agent knows the past decision which were made. So there is a decision making and the memory involved. So any questions so far? Are you able to get what I'm trying to say here in terms of what is being done with these different level of agents? Any questions, any doubts so far? Yeah, I have a few practical examples I'm going to go into. I was just trying to cover some bases, but we're going to go into some practical examples. Thank you, Jose, for checking that. Okay. So, real quick, and maybe, yeah. So, uh, quick advantages of autonomous AI agent. I have told about proactive action, end-to-end action, personalization, efficiency and cost savings, and enhanced decision making. So we are almost half of the session here. Let's jump on some of these practical examples and use cases. I have, and then maybe we could jump actually through more slides. Let me go over this first. Okay. So some of the agents, we will look into the demos. My idea was to put the second half of the session primarily on the actual demos, but we spent a few more minutes on this. So they each and every industry, all the businesses, there is a possibility for AI agent in every realm of things. These are some of the quick examples for healthcare, how we can engage AI and AI-based agents can help in engaging the patient, scheduling appointments, updating records, some diagnostic support as well, some sort of a research on the patient data that can be performed as well. For finance, there is so many use cases. We have worked upon some annual financial statements, AFS, doing some predictive analysis, building these AI agents to analyze and onboard a new client. Retail, same thing. So many implementation from marketing perspective, how to scale up certain services, how to increase the store footfall. So multiple of these agents which can be used in any of these agencies. For manufacturing, especially on the production line, on a shop floor, it is so much beneficial to have these SOP-driven chatbots. Having these agents who can perform certain workflows for your scheduling, for your work time scheduling on the shop floor. Data security is key, and when we talk about some of these agents, you will see how we're going to ensure the security is in place, especially from GDPR, HIPAA compliance. Now there is ethical AI or responsible AI frameworks which needs to be utilized as well. Integration complexity, adapting and learning with these agents are important. Fine tuning, utilizing this copilot tuning would be key, and user adoption, of course. All of these is for such that users get more empowered and they adapt to these agentic driven workforce. Copilot Studio. So expanding capabilities, and I'll show you some of these citizens. So first and foremost, how we can leverage Copilot Studio to build this natural language processing, which we talked about in intelligent chatbot agents. How to integrate with advanced AI. How can we have these kind of agents help robotic process automation, or have these digital blind spots where these agents can fulfill the gap and build some meaningful information out of it. Second, citizen and business environments. There's a lot of scope for these agents in public sector as well, and we'll see some of this in a short while here. And then some of the how to grow these businesses faster and economically scale. With that being said, any questions before we jump on the demos? Okay, so I have a few of these demos. I'm not sure how many of you have seen Copilot. Let me. So this is the Copilot Studio, and again with the newer way of building these products now, Copilot Studio is all web-based. You get the Copilot license, and you can access Copilot Studio. I think some of the environments are available for trial. So if you haven't tried it already, you should try it out. Um, there are some agents which I wanted to quickly show you, but let me start with citizen services. This is one of the easiest intelligent chatbot, which is connected to Redmond website. So for example, this is currently connected to redmond.gov website, meaning this chatbot has access to redmond.gov. Any information available publicly is available to this chatbot. So consider this as a chat GPT for redmond.gov. So now if we go on this website, and So if I come on this website and I ask, let me ask, there was a egg shortage a few months ago in states, and we all were having a lot of problem to find eggs. So let me ask this question: can I keep chicken as a pet in my backyard? Okay. So I'm just asking this: can I keep chicken as a pet in my backyard? And this was a very commonly asked question because of the shortage of eggs a few months back. And so if you ask this question to Redmond City, and you would imagine the result will come. It's a Redmond Microsoft headquarters, and you get this unique park is fun, the whole family animal farm. I mean, there is no mention about if you can keep chicken or not. But I asked the same question now to my chatbot. Okay, this is the chatbot which is connected with Redmond.gov. I have not done anything else. If you see my knowledge here, my knowledge only is the public website for Redmond.gov. Except this citizen services agent has no access whatsoever. And I asked the same question here, can I keep chicken as a pet in my backyard? So we saw that this is done through custom enterprise search from Google. Okay, it's more of a keyword driven Google search. Now this is intent driven prompt from generative AI perspective. And if I click that, it opens up the knowledge source, which is redmond.gov, only one knowledge source. It opens the website and sees what all information is available. Now, now there is the response. Yes, you can keep chicken as a pet. So I asked one specific question and I got very specific answer that yes, you can do it in backyard. Now, this is a requirement that you need to have a registration and site standard, shelter and run specification, zoning instructions. So all it's trying to do is that you're asking a specific question, it is responding in a specific way. It is not giving you the search result, which is very keyword driven from a Google perspective. So that's one of the difference between an intelligent chat as well as just having a search or intelligent search agent. Does that make sense? Yeah. So all right, so that's was one, and this is a quick way of how you can build this agent, and this is like less than. So I had another session earlier, and then we did this in like less than 5 minutes. You can build a chatbot and deploy it, and I'll show you in the quick video here how can you do that. So this is a prompt I'm writing: create an agent with publicly available website to assist their citizen and navigate government. Yeah, let me take this question. It can be scoped to only its task. So yes, Andreas, your question, yes, we can scope the agent, and I'll show you the guardrail how you can set it up. But this particular one is talking to one website, and this has all the information available on the website, and there is no guardrails associated. But I can show you how we can do that. So this is how this agent was being built, and you see provided information about the events permitting, and it comes right away. Okay. Now, Andreas asked this question regarding how can we set up this guardrails. So if you come, this is not the right screen. By the time this demo runs, I can prepare for this. Yeah. So what you can do is that here, if you see overview, now you have these analytics for sure where you can set up certain. So when you create a chatbot or an AI agent on Copilot, you will have certain parameters to share. For example, here you set up the overview, you set up a knowledge base, you can add a new knowledge, what you want to include it. Here you can set up, you can add a PDF document, you can have a SharePoint library, you can connect with some other third-party tools, Salesforce and whatnot. In this, we have added a public website. Now, once you add this, you could set up that your website should enable Bing search results, how you would like this ownership of this data. Would you like this to be a website ownership, that this is the only information which should come from different based on the ask, or it should go outside of this realm of things? Moreover, you can define certain actions, and that is where you could set up some sort of a specific task that you only want these agents to perform these tasks. You do not want this agent to go any further than that. There would be a chance that you may see some of these agents crossing that boundary, and that's where you need to utilize this Copilot fine tuning and perform these analytics, where what type of source is being used, build custom guardrails so that you know exactly what users are asking and what this agent is responding. So based on that, you have to establish those triggers such that it stays secure and it doesn't go out of the security what you have defined for those agents. Stop. Okay. So, for example, actions trigger. Okay, does that make sense, Andreas? Let me go back to another agent. So, for example, this is another agent which we have built for RFP, or maybe expense agent. This is a good one. So in expense agent, what happens is that you create an agent very similar to in Copilot, and you would have the agent. This agent is actually a Microsoft Power app on your phone device. You can scan any receipt or a hotel bill and submit it. But this agent is, since it is based on Copilot, this agent is aware of that you are so and so person in your organization. He or she or this department would be approving this expense. So that goes right in as soon as the receipt is scanned, it goes right in the same cost center for the approval. And based on your location, if this if you Copilot is aware of that you are based out of, for example, Tokyo, and you are visiting this conference, since your calendar is blocked for this Tokyo conference, as soon as you scan the receipt and upload, it automatically goes into your Oracle ERP with the right cost center and for the approval. So this is the on a high level use case. The good thing is that we do not need a new mobile application. We do not need any OCR type application to OCR the image. We are not sending a manual email to any department or any person for the approval. We are not associating or typing this cost center, which could become a little complicated. And last and foremost, that based on your location, this agent already know where you are located in the world. So they can add those testimonials or taxonomy information already into it. So that's the one agent example. Another example, maybe we can actually see some of this tariff change. So we had this client who was interested based on these new dynamics we are dealing with the tariffs. So this tariff agent was built, and I can show you a quick how can we do that. This is again a self-sufficient in a very small environment, but it could be scaled up. Now what we are doing is that, as I said, these agent build outs is becoming more and more vibe coding, meaning you build with the vibe and you write this certain description that what this agent should be doing. You put that over here. That's another question. So yeah, Jose, you asked about this personalized information from the website. So yeah, so once you associate that, you could formalize that information that, okay, this is redmond.gov, but I would like this chat to answer in certain language or greet in a certain way. So the information stays. Again, you have to build that custom overlay application on top of the agent, such that whenever agent is responding, that agent is utilizing those custom instructions and not really just going through with the default action or triggers what has been in place. And again, with the way Copilot Studio works, you cannot, all these drag and drop is great. And what I showed you, like to create these chatbots in less than 5 minutes is great. But till the time you are in the realm of things where its data is publicly available and it is as simple as asking a question and getting a response. The moment you get into these security areas or having this very defined answers for the questions, it gets tricky. You have to have a custom script around it. So right now here we are adding this additional knowledge base to the tariff. And this is again a custom template which we received. Right now it is a manual approach, but imagine now having another fact agent which is only running and checking the new tariff plan. As soon as new tariff gets published, the agent feeds into it. So this knowledge can be dynamic. But this dynamic knowledge cannot be built in Copilot Studio by dragging and dropping. You need to build another agent and then connect those two agents. So that's how this multi-agent environment would work. But there are some limitation. I 100% agree. To personalize certain things, it is not so straightforward, but it is doable. And now here, once you connect with the tariff template, you will connect with the email task so that send me an email as soon as this tariff change happened to these places. So it's kind of more of a autonomous agent which continues to leverage this task where as soon as the tariff plan gets changed or any new information comes in, inform me via email. So it's not a traditional Power Automate. Power Automate, you cannot do this. You can do this where anything changes information on this specific website, then send me an email. And the Power Automate will continue to run. But here I am being very specific about tariff plans. I'm very specific about the knowledge source. And then I'm asking to trigger that to me back. Now, in the next step, you will see instead of just sending me an email, update my ERP already. So that in my ERP, when I generate a new purchase order, I already see that there is a red alert and there is a new tariff change. So you can accept or you can deny. So this is another very good example. Again, there is no guardrails. There is no control how much we can customize. How can we know that what this agent is doing is right from a reasoning perspective? So there are a lot of limitations, but is it a good solution to be built in 5 minutes or less? Of course, it will help. It helped me save some time, but now human has to go back and validate that, okay, what agent is sharing is correct or not. So we are not in a space right now to 100% like eliminate the human intervention. So yeah. So now here I'm adding certain triggers so that it as soon as the information comes out, I can take that back to my ERP. So now here I am requesting a return such that for an item I purchased. But now you will see how this agent would help us in terms of identifying that this is what should be the next step for this return. So here, as soon as you send an email, the agent kicks in. This is autonomous agent. It is running behind the scenes. So it ran, and this is where you can see the log and analytics that when it was last run, some analytics, but there is Andreas, to your point, this is still not, there is no guardrail here. You cannot specify that do certain tasks in this way. But yeah, given the chance, yes, you can customize that. Yeah, so that's one. Any questions, any doubts so far? And this actually connects with Power Automate as well. So this agent is a very good classic example of when the new email arrives, what should be doing. So here, email comes, Power Automate kicks in for agentic process. AI agent clicks in. Then once the latest tariff being identified, it gives back to Power Automate. Power Automate sends another email to the user, and now user opens the email and user take the steps whatever the user want to make the things right. So this is a classic example of how AI agent could work hand in hand with a human. Um, we have few. Let's do this thing. RFP. I think this is a good one here, and this is also was discussed during MS Build earlier last week regarding how the RFP agent and this. There are some templates available on Copilot Studio. Some of these agents are part of Agent Store. Some of these agents are not part of Agent Store, but some templates are available on Copilot website where you could pull up and build your own agents. So we built this out of those templates. So now this is for RFP response and very meaningful. And we are like internally at Ignatius, we are using it. So in some shape or form. But what happens is that you upload an RFP document in certain document library. And if you see my screen, it enforces that what access it has. There are certain security layer because not everybody can drop those RFPs. So there has to be certain role and in the organization who can put those RFPs. Then the Copilot Studio, which has a RAG agent, there are multiple agents, and I'll show you a quick demo. This reads from that reads from the email or RFP packet which has been deployed. Usually there are multiple files, there are addendums to it, and it goes over that. And then there is a content collaboration agent. What this does is that this agent has access to employ all the team members who could participate in this RFP or has participated in any RFP in past. So the list of roles and responsibilities, all the credentials, what and this company has in terms of Microsoft certified partner or OpenAI partner or whatnot. So it gives you that list of all the credentials for this particular company, and then list of all the past winning proposals as well as any proposals which were lost in past. So it has certain comparison also. So now this agent takes care of the content and collaboration. And the idea here is that as soon as RFP comes in, go over it, check what has been done in past, and bring that first initial framework of the response. It's not that it's going to be 100% ready. It's not something which we're going to send it to the client right away, but it is something a good starting point. Does that make sense? So yeah, maybe I can. Yeah. So this is a quick demo on that. They are work in progress. The RFP documents. There is a draft of RFP which has come through. There are certain templates which we have used in past to respond to any having any reference guides, any client references, executive summary. This is all part of our existing templates, so which we can copy that while we build a new RFP. So here you will, in this current situation, you are actually dropping an email with an RFP attachment. And in the next example, I'll show you how we can just execute from Copilot. So here you will, you receiving an email and which has an RFP document to it. And this agent will actually go over and read the RFP and provide us a meaningful response back, and which could be a good starting point. So here it gets, and this is all the knowledge which is collected in terms of project plan, online banking system, if there's a compliance and security, finance paperwork, all that is a part of knowledge. And then there are certain actions which we did not do in the previous example for a website search. But here we have certain actions, which is drafting, creating a Word document for the RFP response. So as soon as you click on that, you will. While this is running, any other questions, anything, maybe, yeah, please feel free to add that on chat. So while it is going through it, it creates, you will see all these analysis happening there, and it creates the RFP. And here the first draft proposal comes in, and you can view the RFP, you can view the proposal. And this both the links come in the email. So now I have this RFP agent which created just now, a few seconds ago, a proposal for an RFP which was responded. Is it 100% ready? No. Would it help me save some of my time? Yes. And I get an email that, okay, this is the RFP document. This is a draft proposal. Now I have to work on top of this. But so still I got a starting point. Before this agent, I have to start from scratch. I had all these different templates, but I have to manually copy them, read through it, update some visuals. It's a painstaking task, which is getting done through an agent. But yeah, but if you go in the under the hood, see in the weeds, I mean, there are a lot of things which are still missing. It's not 100% ready yet, but it could help us get there. So if you come here, this is the RFP draft bot. So here, this is the same agent which we saw a demo just now. And if you see that this is the name and description and what are general instructions. General instruction for you is that you are an RFP assistant that creates a draft response. So you have to provide a job description for this agent or define the role, what is the role of this agent. And based on that what role which you have defined, then it says, okay, you want to orchestrate. Yes, use AI to determine. This is where I again come back to you, Andreas, that we kept it open. We are saying that you can orchestrate from any Gen AI capabilities. We are not limiting the possibilities here. But in your example, I guess you need a certain way to limit the possibilities. But in this case, we are keeping it open because this is our all public RFPs which we need responses for. And then you have these knowledges. Here I'm saying that allow the AI to use its own general knowledge. I have disabled it. So there is certain set of protection I'm doing it, but this is not 100% secure. So I'm saying that you do not use your own knowledge, but AI up top, I am giving that information that you can leverage your own generative AI response. So it's not 100% secure, but it gets you some limitations there. And then, yeah, when RFP is received, or you can trigger right from the, so this is where I can start testing right from the Copilot. So instead of sending an email and going through the whole cycle, I can do this. I know we have just 3 minutes left now. I can quickly jump. Anything you wanted to see which you did not see, or anything, any questions for me? I have built a couple of more demos, but I think we do not have that much time. Yes. Yes, absolutely. So, so most of our agents are multilingual, and it's very easy to add multiple languages there. So now, one good example I'll show you. One of our client, like, so the content is in English, okay, but now you can have a discussion or meaningful conversation in Spanish to the same English content. And we have done this, yeah, multiple places, and this has been very well received because now you don't have to change or translate your content into a different language. You can actually just talk in Spanish with English content. Does that make sense? Any other question? Okay, awesome. All right. So yeah, it was great. This is a quick QR code which connects to my LinkedIn. If you have any questions, anything, please feel free to reach out. And yeah, happy to collaborate in any shape or form. All right. I think that we are right on top of the hour. Any questions, anything? Okay. All right. Thank you and have a wonderful rest of the event. And I hope you all go back home with a lot of meaningful knowledge and updates from Copilot and all other great things Microsoft doing. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thanks. Have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Emil. Please let's give a round applause to everyone. Por favor, denle un aplauso a Himashu. Thank you for this presentation.
Super. Thank you.
Thank you, Himesh.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you. I'll leave then. And yeah, thanks. Thank you.
Ok, ¿qué tal? ¿Qué tal? ¿Qué tal les pareció la presentación? Espero les haya sido de su agrado, como lo dijimos al principio. Y bueno, justo cumpliendo las 11 de la mañana, podemos avanzar con nuestras actividades. Les he dejado unas cuantas notas en el chat, así como el hashtag donde ustedes pueden seguir el evento y así como la parte en la cual cualquier duda o aclaración pueden mandarnos un correo. Por favor, denle, para continuar con todo esto, denle la bienvenida a lo que es Andrés Burslani. Permítame un momento para dar lo que es una breve introducción a lo que es nuestro siguiente tema. Por favor, lo que es denle la bienvenida a Andrés Burslani, quien nos comentará un poquito de Desenreda el bucle, gestión y uso eficaz de Microsoft Loop. Así que, por favor, Andrés, te daré el acceso completo y esta sala es completamente tuya.
No me iban a escuchar nada. El típico error de poner en mudo. Ahora sí, ¿me pueden escuchar bien?